Good morning, everybody. It's Sabrina Henny Live. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from today. Anyway, wanted to kind of honor Bob Proctor today. He passed away on the 3rd, I believe. And I've been reminiscing about the impact he has had upon my life, him and his team that I've dealt with over the years, and they're a really good group. Anyway, here's actually one of his books I found long ago, and it's kind of what I talked about in my book, kind of my awakening experience. And I made that decision. I wanted to start working on my self-development more intensively after all that happened. And it was during that time that The Secret came out, and that book, the movie, really changed my life. I was actually in merchant services at that time, getting someone's account in banking, and someone invited me in, and we kind of chit-chatted, and they said, yeah, we made a lot of copies of The Secret. I wanted you to have a copy. And I'm like, The Secret? And he was like, oh, you've never heard of The Secret? I said, no. And I just stayed in the office for a little bit. We chit-chatted. I did earn their business. And I took The Secret home, and I watched that movie 50 times. And everyone was like saying, why are you watching this movie so many times? And there was something in it that I had to grasp. And after 50 times of watching it, I did. I dissected every part of that movie. And it was so amazing. It was just so amazing. And of course, the book is great too. But there was something about the video or the movie, The Secret, that was so amazing. And through that, I met everyone that was a part of The Secret, you know, in mentorship, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, Frank, how's it going? So during that time of my awakening experience, I started reading about The Secret, and I started exposing myself to different things that I've never, ever encountered. And so one day, during that time period, I was like in and out of, small businesses, and I came across this little book in a thrift store, Bob Proctor, and I bought it for $1. I was like, I cannot believe someone got rid of this, and it's in the thrift store. I mean, it is true that, good morning to you, Frank. It is true that, someone's trash is someone's treasure, because I was like, I will never sell this book ever. And it's not for sale. But, so anyway, after that, I probably watched every Bob Proctor video. I've read every single one of his books and all that. Because he has made an amazing impact on my life. Sometimes we don't know who impacts us the most, but I would say he's probably the second biggest contributor to my brain. So, anyway... So I was honestly, Friday night was kind of hard for me, and I was busy doing, real estate stuff and putting out signs, believe it or not. But in the evening, I was just so teary-eyed. And I know a lot of the Bob Proctor consultants, a lot of my friends, they're feeling it today. And so my heart goes out to everyone associated with him, because it's like he was a big impact to this world. And that's the thing. He just wanted to help people and impact them, and he wanted you to become a greater success than you already were. He wanted you to be better. And sometimes in society, it's hard to find these people that want you to be a better person than what you already want to be. So anyway, I created this journal Friday night. I was in tears because I was like, why did he have to die? Here he's 87 years old, and he wasn't stopping. And that's the thing. I mean, that was the most amazing thing about Bob Proctor. He was 87 and he didn't want to stop. I mean, so many people his age don't buy $1 million studio to impact the world in. And so, you know, sometimes people they want to retire at maybe 60 or so and be done with it. But he said he never wanted to retire. And for me, that was an inspiration. I mean, with that being said, he's always been an inspiration to me because, hey, let's not talk about our age sometimes, because sometimes we feel like we get too old to do things. And on a lot of his interviews, a lot of people always used his age. Well, you know, it's kind of like in the gym. You know, I can outwork a lot of people in their 20s. Okay, so fitness isn't about age. Success isn't about age. And so why are we stopping at a certain age? I mean, why do we have to stop at 50? Why do we have to stop at 60 or 75? He wanted to go he wanted to contribute as much as he could to this world while he was still on this earth, which is so amazing. And so with that being said, I was just kind of reminiscing Friday. And I created a little journal in his memory. And the reason why I did so is because he had some of the most amazing information that no one has ever heard of, or that people didn't really actually focus on too much. So I created a new journal just for him and his information, because I don't know how long his information will actually be available. I mean, you know how it is when people die and say 50 years from now, where's that information? And it's like that with a lot of people. You know, he even talked about some of his inspirational readings, and his inspirational readings, in one of his interviews, he asked what were his 5 favorite books, okay? And of course, we know that his favorite book that he read every day was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And that was the book that changed his life. But the second book, which is actually my favorite book, and he directed me to a lot of these amazing books that I would never known if it wasn't for him. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful for his wisdom and knowledge. But his second favorite book was The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And he talks about that. And I have that book closely. It is an amazing book. And I'll kind of go over that. But this week I wanted to dedicate, time to Bob Proctor, or for Bob Proctor, in his remembrance. Another great book of his that he loved was the Edinburgh on Mental Science. I would say Bob Proctor is probably one of the greatest thinkers of all times. That's what I think. Another book that he loved was the Dore Lectures on Mental Science. And then, of course, his favorite book that he wrote was this one here, You Were Born to Be Rich. I know. I love the glasses in that. It's so 1970s. I just, But anyway, I just wanted to talk about those special things. So, in another interview of his, he said, what are 3 truths you want to be remembered by? And this is what he said. He said he wanted everyone to live in the now. Live in the now. Don't get caught up in the present. Don't get caught up in the past. Number 2, he said, do the thing you want to do. Do the thing you've always wanted to do. Don't hold yourself back on it. And number 3, be grateful. And then he talked about the 7th chapter in my favorite book, which is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. My cover fell off long ago, so bear with it. It's one of those books that doesn't have a fancy cover to it. It's just plain blue, but it is so amazing. So I want to read this chapter in remembrance of Bob Proctor, but it's 7th chapter of Wallace D. Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich, which is gratitude. So far, we've seen the first step in getting rich is to impress the idea of your wants on the formless substance, and this is true. By doing so requires being in harmony with the formless intelligence. Achieving this harmony is vitally important, so I want to talk about it in some length here and to give you instructions that will bring you into the perfect unity of mind, which is the supreme power of the universe. The steps are simple. Believe, number 1, believe that there is one intelligent substance from which all things proceed. Number 2, believe that the substance gives you everything you desire. Number 3, relate to that intelligent substance through a deep feeling and profound gratitude. The whole process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one last word, gratitude. Many people who do everything else right away in poverty due to their lack of gratitude. Having received a gift, they cut the wires that connect them with the source by failing to acknowledge that gift. It's so easy to understand the nearer we live in to the source of riches, the most riches we will receive. And it's easy all to understand that someone who is always grateful lives in closer touch with that source, that one never offers thankful acknowledgement. The more grateful we fix our minds on the supreme source when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive and the more rapidly we will become. The reason for this is simply that an attitude of gratitude draws the mind closer to the source from which the blessings come. Jesus always gave thanks first. The Quran teaches that God Allah of His mercy has appointed for you night and day, so you may rest and you may seek His beauty. His bounty. I don't have on my glasses, so. And so that happily you may be thankful. Whoever gives thanks does so far the good of his soul. If that thought that gratitude brings your whole mind into closer harmony with the creative energies of the universe is new to you, consider it and you will see it's true. The good things you already have come to you along Pacific pathways according to the laws that can be counted on. Gratitude leads your mind out of long ways by which those came and opens the flows for further blessings. It also keeps you in harmony with a creative thought and prevents you from falling into competitive thought. That's a good point. Gratitude alone can keep you looking towards all providing source, preventing you from falling into the error of thinking that the supply might be limited, which is an idea that can wipe our hopes. The law of gratitude. There is a law of gratitude, and it's absolutely necessary you observe the law, this law, to get results you seek. The law of gratitude is based on the natural principle that action and reaction always equal in the opposite directions. This means an action leading towards is always followed by a reaction coming inward. So the action of expressing thankful praise to the Supreme Intelligent must lead to an equal reaction towards us. Our gratitude liberates an energy within us that immediately expands into formless substance, where it is instantly returned to us in kind. If your gratitude is strong and constant, the response of the formless substance will be strong and continues, and things you want will always move towards you. Notice gratitude attend Jesus maintain how he always seemed to be saying, "I thank you, Father, that you have heard me." You can't exercise much power without gratitude, for gratitude is what keeps you connected with power. Benefits of gratitude, but the value of gratitude is not just in getting more blessings in the future. Without gratitude, you can't keep from becoming dissatisfied. The moment you stop feeling grateful for your blessings and you start dissatisfied with things the way they are, you begin to lose ground. The reason is simple. When dissatisfied, you will only see what is not okay, what's broken or dirty, what's not right in the world, and your thoughts take the form of these things. When you transmit these forms and mental images to the formless, and more of what you don't want starts to come to you. To focus attention to the inferior and undesirable, to become inferior and to find yourself surrounded with inferior or undesirable things. On the other hand, to fix your attention on the best is to surround yourself with the best and to become the best. The creative power within and makes us the image of whatever we give our attention to. We too are made of thinking substance, and substance always takes the form of the thought in experiences. The grateful mind is constantly fixed upon the highest and the best. Therefore, it tends to become the best. Taking form or character of the best, it will receive the best. Another benefit is increased faith. Faith is born of gratitude. The grateful mind, the continually perceived good things which become expectations of more of the same, which with faith, a deep understanding and acknowledgement. So every outgoing wave of grateful thanksgiving increases faith. Someone who has no feelings of gratitude cannot long retain a living faith, and without a living faith, you can't get rich by the creative method, as we shall see in the following chapters. Hello, David. How are you? Sorry I don't have on my glasses, so I'm just I'm struggling here and there, but Gratitude in all things. It's essential then to develop the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to us and to give thanks continually and to become all things have contributed to your advancement. They're all good. You have need to all things in very gratitude. Don't waste a lot of time thinking or talking about shortcomings or wrong actions of those in power. Their organization of the world has created an opportunity you can get really comes to you because of them. Don't rage against corrupt politicians. No, this isn't Bob Proctor, but it's one of his favorite chapters in Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich, which is one of his favorite books. And you'll have to go back and watch the beginning, David. Don't rage against corrupt politicians. If it were not for politicians, we should fall into anarchy and your opportunities would be greatly lessened. God, the intelligence of infinite substance, has worked a long time and very patiently to bring us to where we are in industry and government. That works continues. There's no doubt that the forces of ongoing development will go away with greedy corporate executives and politicians as soon as they spared. But in the meantime, they are all necessary. Remember that we're all helping to arrange the lines of transmission along. Your riches will come to you, and be grateful. This will bring you into harmonious relations with the good in everything, and the good in everything will move towards you. And then the summary of the 7th chapter in The Science of Getting Rich. And David, when Bob Proctor, one of his last things he wanted to be remembered for and that people should focus on is gratitude. And he brought up the 7th chapter of this book by Wallace D. Wattles. And if you have not read it, it is an amazing book. An amazing book, but he has really broadened my perspective on all the books he suggested to me that I've read over the years, which was a great impact on my life. Like one book many people probably have not heard of is this book, Thomas Troward, The Hidden Power. And that was one of his favorite authors, was Thomas Troward. So if you've never, a lot of people have never heard of Thomas Troward, but it was one of Bob Proctor's favorite authors, okay? And so as we go down to summary, the more grateful we fixed our minds on the Supreme when good things come to us, the more good things we receive and the more rapidly they come. This is simply the attitude of gratitude draws us so closer to the source from which the blessings come. Without gratitude, you can't keep from becoming dissatisfied with things as they are. The moment you stop feeling grateful for your blessings and let your mind dwell with dissatisfaction upon things as they are, you begin to lose ground. The grateful mind continually perceives and good things. That continual perception becomes expectation of more of the same, which becomes faith, a deep understanding and knowledge. Because of all the things have contributed to your advancement, they're all good, and we all need to include all these things in your gratitude. Don't waste time in thinking or talking about shortcomings or wrong actions of those in power. They're all helping to arrange the line of transmission along which your riches will come. So what that means is we can't complain about, maybe all of the situations we may be experiencing. Like, let's not complain about our business or politicians, but we need to be grateful for everything. So your power does come from being grateful. So, and then the fourth thing he really wanted to remember by that people should do is give. Yep, give. And, he was raised by a single mom, grew up in poverty during the Great Depression. So he said that his mom was very giving. And that's why he was very giving. So anyway, that is a little Bob Proctor remembrance, a tribute to him today. I'm going to try to focus on him all week if I can. And of course, a little real estate. Thank you for the heart. I appreciate it. Have an amazing day. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Bye-bye.